Hold on tight, spider monkey.
As if you could outrun me!
It's more than some crush, Bella.
How? I don't even know what you're saying. How?
Well, then I hope you enjoy disappointment.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. This is a little thrown together, but Bodhi. Oh my god! In the first 10 seconds,
He's got it.
He's doing his best.
So since you can hear my dog Bodhi in every episode, we decided to try something a little different. And instead of shoving him in my closet, we have him out here with us, but he's crying because we're not paying attention to him. So bear with us. I'm trying to figure something out. If anyone wants to babysit my dog on Tuesdays, hit me up.
My Twilight Fantasy Podcast at gmail.com.
Hell yeah.
Bodhi
He's
has a
cute.
dog order if you want
So that's the only thing he's got going for him.
Super cute.
Anyway, welcome back to the 11th episode of my Twilight Fantasy.
Whoop.
Yeah, super exciting. We hit the 10 milestone, and stop making noises, Tyree.
Sorry.
So yeah, we're back to episode 11, chapter 11, and we are your podcast for all things Twilight. You got your girls, Tyree, Maya, and Anna here.
And if you don't know which one is which right now,
Sucks to suck.
yeah.
Tyree did not sound like T. Dreezy.
Because T. Dreezy isn't your name.
It is.
It's not.
It's my stripper name.
What's your
Also-
stripper name, Anna?
I always forget the formula. What is it?
I don't know.
I'm so sorry. So, I turned 25 this week, and I'm already falling apart at the seams. I am currently drinking because no medications are healing my back problems. I'm also coughing on my own spit constantly.
Lit.
So, this is what you guys have to look forward to in 5 years. 25 is the new 80. So, excuse all of my noises and grunts and groans.
You know,
What's your excuse, Tyree?
About being craggly?
No, about always making noise.
Oh. I'm undiagnosed.
oh my god.
I can make the diagnosis, I'm sure.
Yikes, big yikes. But on the topic of aging, you know, I'm going to be 21 here soon too.
21.
21. I really never thought I would live this long.
So,
I did not think I would make it here.
I still have not thought of my future self past 25, which I'm going to be in 2 days.
I think that's like definitely a symptom of depression, but also like I'm kind of like living in this strange dream space because every day that I'm still alive, I'm like,
What are you doing?
yeah, I just didn't account for this.
Yeah.
So we're lit. We're just happy to be here.
I feel like a
Trying to
lot of
be.
people are in our generation, though, feel that way because,
Yeah.
I mean, there used to be like one track, life track for everybody. Like,
And that shit worked for most people.
yeah, and it worked for everybody. Like, our parents, you know, they went to school, they graduated, they got married, they graduated college, they got jobs, and they were in that job till they retired. And they had kids, and, you know, and that worked for them. But now it's just like, I don't know what the future holds.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll have a job next week, maybe I won't.
Big yikes. That's a mood, though.
Yeah, we.
Not to get all deep in the first 4 minutes, but sorry for going on that rant.
No. But
I think you're gonna live a long time.
I don't know, dude. With the. I feel like my life has flashed before my eyes too many times in the past 7 days.
I'm so sorry. Why?
I've almost gotten into a bunch of car accidents.
Right?
Like the kind, like ranging from extremely mild to like, I almost just lost my life, you know?
You had your like first legit car accident this week, though, right? I thought that you said that was your first.
We don't need to talk about that.
Oh.
Does, like, bumping into other stuff count as a car accident?
I would
What
say
are you
no.
bumping into?
Like, you know how there's a big scrape on the side of my car?
Yeah.
Like, I was parking and I, like, skid into, like, a whole pillar.
Yikes.
Yeah, I wasn't going fast. I just overestimated or underestimated how close I was to the pillar.
I mean, that happens.
Yeah, yeeted my crap.
Have you seen the big scratch on the side of my car?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. Next to me on the driver's side, it's just from my, like, driver's side door all the way to the back of my car.
Because someone keyed your car.
Yeah. This has happened to every car I've ever owned.
Why?
I don't know. I don't make enemies. Like, I don't know. My first car in college, I mean, on college campuses, that's always a little sketchy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. When we don't pay enough attention to Bodhi, he screams like that, so I apologize. We may have to pause and put him away here in a minute. But no, my first car in college ever, one night, my entire car was keyed and all 4 tires were slashed.
All 4?
Just randomly, yeah. All 4. And
Insurance covers that.
it doesn't.
It doesn't cover 4? How many?
Sure doesn't.
That's effing. What are you there for then?
I know. And then my second car got super keyed, like the whole back. Like, it looked like someone hit me, but, like, there was no way. It was, like, clearly engraved. Mm-hmm. And then this car, which is the only car, like, brand new I've bought, literally a couple months after that, I went on vacation to Savannah, Georgia, and we parked it down there at the, like, farmer's market, and I came back and someone had just straight up taken something and, like, keyed the entire driver's side of my car.
Who would do that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why? What did you accomplish by doing that? Obviously, I don't know anybody down there.
It's just
Yeah.
effing with you.
My fucking
Every
sister.
time.
Yeah.
She didn't even go with me. Ran down to Georgia to key my car.
Vampire sprinted.
Yeah, maybe. But, well, I'm glad you didn't die in a car accident.
Yeah, but, you know, the day is young.
Yeah,
Every day could be my last. Gang, gang.
that's a really positive way to think.
That's not a very positive way to think.
So it's very positive.
No.
I'm going to pause for a hot second.
So
All right, we're back. So we should probably get into Twilight.
Maybe.
You guys
Maybe a
ready?
little. Yeah, I have the overview for this chapter.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, we're on chapter 11, which is called Complications. Maya, why don't you go ahead and do the overview?
Okay, hopefully this is accurate.
Okay.
At one point, I think I had like 2 days off consecutively, which is super extremely rare for me. And so I just like read a bunch of Twilight, and then I went back and took my notes, which I normally don't do. I normally do it all at the same time. Mm-hmm. So if I'm missing something major, I'm sorry. I'm sure you guys will fill me in. So the chapter starts with Bella and Edward continuing to spend time together. Excuse me. They spend more time together at school. They walk around to classes together. They eat lunch together. And it kind of becomes like their established routine that he gives her a ride to school every day. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that none of this is communicated to Charlie at all.
Not at all.
So, and like everyone else is kind of left assuming that they're dating, but generally confused about their relationship. Like,
As are they.
Yeah, as are they. But they still have biology together. And in this chapter, there are like a couple of days where in biology they're watching a movie. And so the lights get turned off, and the sexual tension is just so incredibly thick.
So incredibly out of pocket.
It's amazing.
It's ridiculous.
Amazing.
Like, just touch each other. Like, I think you're gonna be fine. They don't even, like, they're not even holding hands. Like, not touching.
But that's like a crazy feeling, though. Like, if you ever... No, we can get into it later.
Yeah, no,
Never mind.
I mean, I totally understand that, but also, like, what are you waiting for? I don't... I mean, you are in class, but, like, maybe touch hands. Like...
Only thing Homeboy does is embrace her face and then go on about his business.
Weird.
I noted that. I was like, they haven't hugged, they haven't held hands, but, like, let me just caress your face awkwardly and then, like, yeet away.
Not kiss you or anything, just...
I mean, it's still, from his perspective, a little difficult.
Yeah. I get that. It's just, like...
Right. No, I know what you're saying.
Uncomfortable to read.
Uncomf.
And so I started thinking about, like, when she kept trying to, like, touch him at the dinner table, and he was just like...
Yeet. Yeet, yeet. Double yeet
Keeps skating back. Whoa.
again.
For the second time. I hate it. I hate it.
But also, at one point during gym class, Mike comes up to Bella and says, like, I don't like the way he looks at you. I don't think that you should continue to, like, do whatever it is that you're doing with Edward. Like, what's going on? And Bella just snaps at him, which, again, feels like another moment where Bella is, like, sacrificing her true nature and, like, becoming something else for Edward's benefit. Or, like, as a result of his presence in her life. Just an interesting thing, though. Nothing serious, but she does snap. And then Charlie asks Bella about her plans for the day of the dance again, hoping that she'll still go to the dance, but Bella doesn't mention... She definitely says she's not going to go, but she doesn't mention the change of plans, or that Edward is involved whatsoever.
Right.
So that also feels kind of dishonest. But whatever. And it's weird because, like, you'd think that for how much Charlie has advocated for the Cullen family, that she would be like, yeah, this is the person that I'm interested in.
Right.
Or, like, I'm friends with this family. Like, just, I don't know what
She just overcomplicates everything.
Right, by lying about it.
Yeah.
But, anyway. The chapter ends after Edward has given Bella a ride home, and they sit in his car talking for hours after the school day ends. They lose track of time. They're not really having a conversation. It's more like Edward is just, like, firing off questions at her, and she's answering with the first word that comes to her mind, basically, which is super weird as well.
Yeah.
That's really not the most normal way to get to know somebody, but go off. They end up sitting there too long, and then it's basically time for Charlie to come home, and then Jacob and Billy Black roll up, and they completely they weren't really invited over at all, but we soon find out that they're going to watch, like, the game, and Edward, like, vampire senses them and dips as fast as he can, but Billy still sees him. I don't know what that means.
Oh no, my nail came off.
Oh, I'm sorry. How did that happen?
I was picking at it because I saw it coming off.
Oh, that's disappointing.
So I can go get them redone tomorrow.
Yeah,
No, I can't. I'm not gonna have time.
it's gonna be a fat paycheck tomorrow, though.
Yeah, tweaked.
And I can't relate. No longer hourly.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It is what it is. All right. Is that the end of the overview?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Did I leave anything out that was?
I don't think
major?
so.
Okay.
We'll get into everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to address the sexual tension first because it was palpable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wait, can I say something, like, right? Because I have, like, it's, like, right here on my thing, but, like, I have one thing right before.
Mm-hmm.
It was, why does everything in Twilight have to be, like, reluctant, whether it be, like, Bella or Edward or the VCR? Like, she uses, like, Stephanie just uses reluctant in, like, every chapter, and
I
think
noticed
it's funny.
that too.
Yeah.
I remember reading that over and I was like, why would a VCR be reluctant? But
Like, there was no need to personify the VCR at all, and she just did it anyway, which was sort of...
it's like, you know those people who write an essay and then to sound smarter, they'll just go through and highlight random words and then go to the thesaurus
Yeah.
and pick, like, a smarter sounding word. I feel like that's what she did with some of these, like, descriptive words, but
Yeah.
they end up making no sense.
Yeah.
You know?
The reluctant VCR. I was like,
VCR. No.
Yikes.
I don't want that tape.
I mean, I guess.
She says something pretty cringy on this page. I'm looking at 219.
Yeah.
He grinned back, his eyes somehow managing to smolder, even in the dark. I looked away before I could start hyperventilating. Bitch.
It's not that deep.
It was absolutely ridiculous that I should feel dizzy. Yes, the F it is. Like, it's really not that deep. You're watching a movie in a high school biology class. I'm kind of like, part of me wants this to be way edgier. Like, it's a vampire.
Yeah.
You know, like, this could have gone a completely different direction. We know Edward from, like, the larger context. We know he's, like, this ultra super gentleman from 100 years ago and hasn't, like, evolved his morals at all, as they would say on Love Island.
Oh my god.
But, like, when you think of a vampire, you think of someone who's, like, really dark and, like, very edgy and, like, would whisk you off to the bathroom to make out or something, you know? And that's just so dissatisfying to me.
Yeah.
And then I said the electricity between Bella and, well, I like wrote down questions. I said, was it one-sided or reciprocated? Like,
Yeah.
was she, because it said that he looked the same, but like, was it because he also wanted to touch her, or was it because he was just like, oh, vampire thinks I want to kill you right now?
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I want to get closer to you, and he's just like, blood.
Well, I think it's because he, like, wants her in the same way, too, because he does address it on 219, the very last thing there, after, like, the movie goes off and, like, class is over, they both kind of relax, and then he actually, like, acknowledges it and says, well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
That's so, like, if someone said that to me after, like, a moment of high tension like that, I would be so self-conscious and, like, what did I do wrong?
Why?
I don't know, that was interesting. Like, to me, that signifies, like, that should have gone differently.
I don't know. I kind of read it differently, like, kind of coy and just like, well, that was interesting. Like,
Okay.
you felt that too. This was like an obvious thing happening, you know?
Okay.
I don't know. That's how I read it. But
Oh. But then I also asked, like, why is she, like, why are they, well, I said vampire lore, soulmates, and then I said, why is she, like, why are they more aware of it in the dark? Is it, like, that's what I was tying back to the whole, is it the allure? Is it, like, a soulmate thing that Stephanie Meyer never touches on?
Yeah, that was, before we started recording, we were talking about, like, there are moments where, like, it kind of seems like Edward's doing something that's like a vampire superpower, like the way he quote-unquote dazzled the surfer and the hostess, is like all of his vampire allure somehow magnified in the dark. Is that like part of the vampire lore, or is that like a little Easter egg for us, or is that just sexual tension? I don't know. Interesting.
I think it's interesting that you guys kind of read into that, because I didn't even pick up on that.
I didn't
My
either
only-
until you said something.
My only, like, thing, because at this point, like, I wasn't even, like, thinking about it as him being a vampire type of point of view, just as, like, two people who clearly like each other, who are still getting to know each other, but there is, like, an obvious connection there, like, physically and all that hasn't been addressed. And so, like, this is the first time where it's just been, like, completely silent, but they're in a space where they can't really express things verbally, and so they're just sitting there in each other's, like, presence, and that itself is difficult, because without expressing themselves in words, they want to, like, jump on each other. You know what I mean?
I
If
wish
that
they
makes
just
sense.
would.
I know, same.
I just keep thinking of them, like, with their arms crossed, fist balled, like, super hard on the desk, and, like, not even watching the movie, but just, like, looking down for an hour and a half. Like,
Don't you want to just, like, scoot closer together or something, you know?
like,
Well, they
lean
said they're
over.
touching arms.
That must have been really spicy for Edward.
But
You know Bella's never had any action either.
Yeah.
of course not.
But
No.
she's like, you know, like, if you, like, go further in, like, she's the one to, like, go in. But then, like,
Go in.
initiate.
Oh, boy.
Yikes. Oh. Stop taking off your clothes.
Not tonight.
Ew, what?
You don't
That
remember
happens?
in Eclipse, the movie, because she asks Edward, like, I'll marry you, but, like, let's try to have sex, basically. And then he doesn't say yes, but they start making out, and she starts taking off her clothes, and he goes, stop taking off your clothes. And they continue to make out, and she goes, why, you want to do that part?
And he's just like, not tonight.
I don't think... Unpopular, perhaps an unpopular opinion. That type of discussion during those moments is the biggest turnoff ever.
Like, she was like hella embarrassed afterwards. Like,
Good.
she's
She's like,
you don't
oh,
want me
you
that
don't
way?
want me.
Yeah. And he's like, believe me, I want to. Like,
Okay, then fucking do it. I don't understand.
he wanted to wait till marriage.
Gross.
Test out the merchandise before you sign.
That's my policy.
All right.
Hey, Grandma, what's up?
Shout out to all the purrs.
All right. I don't even know what to do now.
Let's just move on to the next. The next note. I want to go to 2:30.
Oh, okay.
So, as I kind of touched on in the overview of this chapter, Edward isn't getting to know Bella so much as he is just, like, asking her tons of questions really fast.
Yeah.
And she's not even, like, thinking about her answers. Sometimes it seems like she's, like, tired of answering these questions a little bit. And at one point he asks, like, what her favorite gemstone is or something.
Yeah.
And she says topaz, like it's just the first word that comes out of her mouth. Because it's the color of Edward's eyes that day.
Oh, it's so annoying.
And she said, I'd given him more information than necessary in my unwilling honesty, and I worried it would provoke the strange anger that flared whenever I slipped and revealed too clearly how obsessed I was. Obsessed. That's an interesting word to use there.
Yeah.
I think they're obsessed with each other, though.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
He just randomly gets mad about it. Like, out of nowhere.
Right. And I think that better gets explained in the later chapters, but
Yeah.
right now it just seems like so offhand, like really misplaced and weird. Mm-hmm. But kind of going off those questions, I listed actually all the specific questions he asked her.
Really?
I did.
Oh.
There's like 10 of them or whatever. But I thought maybe as like a fun, like, let
Yes.
everyone get to know us. What if we answered all the questions ourselves?
Yeah.
You want to?
Yes.
All right. Let's do it. So you ready?
Yes.
I'm going to play Edward.
You're gonna play Edward?
Are you gonna
No.
get? Are you gonna get? I was like, oh, so you're gonna do the voice? I said, I'm here for
As
it.
if you could outrun me. No. All right.
As if you could fight me off.
So obviously the first question you need to know when getting to know someone. What's your favorite color?
See, that's a tough one for me.
Yeah, same.
My whole, like, growing up years, it was blue. Because I have a bunch of siblings, but they're all, like, step-siblings. And then one biological sister who is just, like, 18 months older than me. So we're basically twins. And we would get all the same stuff, most, like, when we were young especially. But a lot of times things come either in the pink or blue. And so she would always get the pink and I was always the blue one. So, like, that, I feel like my family has associated that with me so hard. But personally, I think it's hard for me to choose between blue, green, and red as my favorite color. Like, certain shades. And I could passionately talk about this for a long time, so I will shut up now. But
What about you, Tyree?
I'm between, like night sky blue and, what is it? Like sunflower yellow.
Oh, pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a Michigan fan though, but
Fuck that. Yeah, I feel like it changes a lot, but growing up, my favorite color was always coral.
corral.
Coral. But, I'm really, really drawn to blue for, like, everything. Just different shades of blue. But for practical
50
application, black.
black, yeah. I
All
feel
black,
that
everything.
too.
It's my favorite.
Like, for clothing and, like,
For
I
clothing.
want my objects to be black.
Yeah, for furniture, for clothing, literally everything. Black.
Mm-hmm.
If
just-
given a choice in phone color,
Black.
every color of the rainbow, I want black.
Yeah. Yeah. It's classic.
Sleek.
It's sleek.
Sexy.
I love it. All right. So, that's favorite color. Favorite movie.
That's
Tyree.
super hard.
I know.
Oh, am I supposed to be going now?
Well, why are you doing that?
Because it's cracked up.
Do you have just like a movie you like?
There are so many. And
Or how about this? Favorite Twilight movie?
Eclipse.
Oh. I've seen them all like one time, so maybe twice.
I think mine is Breaking Dawn Part 2.
No,
I just like seeing all of them come together and like their little family.
No, mine is hardcore Eclipse.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Why?
It's like, because this is basically when Edward and Jacob are still competing for Bella.
Okay, so that was the last time that Jacob had a chance.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's not really why I liked it. I just thought, like, I don't know. I just liked how, dramatic it was. Like, it was, like, you could still relate to it, like, before, like, the Volturi and all that stuff was coming in.
Gotcha.
Like, you have, like, Jealous Itch, Victoria in the cut. Then you have the love triangle still going at it. Rosalie still being Rosalie in the cut. Is it Eclipse where she asked if she could be a vampire?
Yes.
Yeah, and like Rosalie, like that's where we get like Rosalie's story. Isn't that where we get Rosalie's story? Like Rosalie and Jasper's?
No, isn't that the end of New Moon, she asks?
Mm-mm. And I don't, it's somewhere where she asks if she like hates her. She's like, I don't hate you, I envy you.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I remember reading that conversation, but I don't remember seeing that in a movie.
It's in, yeah.
I think it's Eclipse. I could look it up real quick. But that's, I don't know, I just feel like it was like, we got like a lot of side stories. We got to see like Jacob and Edward, like, because like they were really like separate between New Moon and Twilight. Like they really didn't interact. And then Eclipse is like they're like butting heads like constantly. I don't know, I just liked it because they were like sort of all in there and you just got a little bit of everything, but it was still like relatable. Mm-hmm. Besides, I am hotter than you.
All right. Where's your favorite place that you have visited before?
DC was really fun. Boston.
This is really fun.
I don't know, it's so hard to pick one place. I haven't like been anywhere where I was like, oh yeah, I need to move here.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I really like Seattle. It's really beautiful. It's probably my favorite here in the States.
I don't know. Like, my favorite place so far has been Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I think.
Yeah, I have a bunch of friends who like recently moved there and they just love it. I've always heard good things. I really want to visit.
Yeah, I like this. But I think it's more me associating the memories to it rather than like actually being there. Because that's like when I still cheered and I was like with like a team of my best friends and we like just planned stuff throughout the day and we just did different stuff and toured around the city and were goofing off and stuff. So it was like really nice. And then they had free ice cream one day when I was there and I was like, that was sort of just topped it off.
So when are we taking a girls' trip to Forks?
When I can afford it.
I'll be long dead before that happens.
Same. Okay. Where is your like number one place you want to visit?
Berlin. I don't know why, but I took like a modern German film class when I was a freshman in college, and a lot of them were about like the history of Germany in one way or another, and that just seemed like a super emotionally charged place that I'd like to see.
Yeah.
In person.
That's like number 5 on my list.
I want to go to Italy.
To see the Volturi.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Hopefully I get yeeted.
I think mine is a tie between, I mean, I have a list of top 5 places, but I think my number 1 and 2 are like Bali or Jakarta, Indonesia, and Ireland.
Ireland.
I really want to go to Ireland, yeah.
I want to go to all the places I can't afford.
Well, same.
And it's like I asked my dad what he wanted for his birthday, and he was like, I want a plane ticket to Bora Bora for me and Dorothy. And I looked that crap up. All tickets are over like $1,000. I was just like, sounds like a key. You want like a keychain or like?
Yeah. All right. Favorite book?
The Great Gatsby.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fahrenheit 451.
Twilight. No, I'm just- I'm kidding.
Obvi.
What's your favorite Twilight book?
Well, she said Breaking Down Part 2.
Movie.
That was
that
my
was
favorite
movie.
movie.
Oh, okay.
I need to get these out of my face before you
I
do
don't
one.
know. It's probably a Breaking Dawn book. Oh, well, the book
The
is only
Breaking Dawn
one.
book, yeah.
Yeah. So probably that.
Mine is still Eclipse.
What's your favorite gemstone?
So this is another tough one, because rubies, emeralds, and sapphires are dope. They're also the colors that I like the most, but if amber counts, amber is the coolest. And opals, I'm obsessed with opals.
Are opals purple?
They can be a lot of different colors, but I think normally they're white.
Oh.
But they're like kind of holographic.
Oh, okay. Tyree?
Amethyst.
Those are purple, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know very many gemstones. I guess ruby. I don't know. I just like really vibrant.
Yeah, really vibrant ones.
Yeah.
Same.
Mine is like my gemstone, like my birthstone. It looks like booty and grape juice.
Is it purple?
No.
What
It's like
color?
brown.
Your birthstone?
Yeah.
Wait, what is it called?
January birth.
What is the August one? I know September is a sapphire.
It's there's a long-lived debate on how it's pronounced, but it's a peridot. It's
I've never
like a
heard
lime
that.
green,
Okay.
It's red. It's garnet.
which fucking sucks because my sister's diamond.
Of course.
Let me see if I can look it up.
it's
peridot.
garnet.
Okay, I'll look it up. That sounds like a red stone.
It is red, but like before when I looked at it, I thought it was brown. Yeah.
Booty and grape juice.
How come all these mashed potatoes smell like booty and grape juice?
I think it's really funny that every month is assigned a gemstone anyway.
Yeah.
That's like so random.
Mm-hmm.
This is the peridot.
Okay, that's dope.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. But
Is it? Never mind.
what?
Because only reason I know any gemstones is from Steven Universe. I know I was too old to be watching that show when it came out, but I watched it anyway.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
I don't either.
It's on Cartoon Network. It's fine. Like all the characters were named after different gemstones, and they were the color of the gemstone. So there was like pearl, amethyst.
Oh my gosh, that popped up.
What?
Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right. Favorite flower?
Daffodil. Easy.
I don't know. I really don't care.
I don't think I do either.
I really don't care.
Actually, what's the fucking flower at Christmas?
Don't know.
Mistletoe.
Poinsettia.
Poinsettia.
I really like those.
That sounds like a dance move.
Did you send that picture?
Yeah, I did.
And the last question is, what does she miss about home? But we're all still here in Columbus, so
Yeah.
This isn't my home.
where are you from?
Cincinnati.
Oh, well, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
So
same thing.
It's not.
What do you miss about Cincinnati?
Well, one of my family's down there.
Yeah.
And then it just has like a homier feel when I go down there. It's like up here there are like certain streets that I'll be like terrified to walk on, but like if I go down there, like I wouldn't mind walking on any street. Like I'll be fine. Like
Dude, Cincinnati is hella scary, though.
I know, but it's just like I don't know. I just feel like it's more not like family oriented, but it literally just has a homey feel to it. So like I would like, and plus like they don't have all the random streets that are like super dark. I'm like most of their streets are lit, so they're really not too scared to walk around. I've never been mugged down there. No, actually, yes, I have at the Greyhound station.
The Greyhound station in Cincinnati is whack.
Bro, that was scary.
I've had so many bad experiences there too.
That's where I saw the lady. Like I went because I just gotten mugged, out in like the main terminal, and then I went inside the bathroom, and for some reason there was a chair in there, and there was like a lady like applying her lipstick, and then she started like laughing at the mirror, and like then she started like banging her head against the mirror, and like it shattered, and I was just like, picked up my book bag, and I was like, should I ask if she's okay?
No.
But I was just like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine, sweetie. And then proceeded to bang her head against the mirror. And then I was like, oh, and I called my dad. I'm like, where are you at? I said 12 o'clock.
The only Greyhound station I've been in that's worse than the one in Cincinnati is the one in Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a dark place.
I like
I
Indianapolis.
hate it.
Really?
I hate it.
Oh, I really like it. I hate Chicago.
Okay, that's fair.
I fucking hate that place.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone who lives there. It's just, I've never had a good experience with the city.
Offense.
What?
I love how much we're talking about Twilight right now.
All right. Well, we can get back into it. That's the last question he asks her really that day. But yeah, so that's going over all the questions. But can I go back to the beginning of the chapter?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So it's on page 221.
Yes.
And she's talking to Mike.
Yes.
And she says at the very top at 221, sometimes it was so easy to like Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
She has only ever talked about him in a negative way up until now.
Yes.
And not even particularly negative, but refers to him as a dog several times. And I don't perceive that as necessarily positive,
Right.
So it's just kind of weird that, oh, well, I like Mike today. She's never really expressed that.
Yeah, she did agree to go with him on his trip to Le Push or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally feel that, and again, it kind of suggests that there is this other option for her that she just completely disregards most of the time.
Right.
Of being a regular human person.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and going off that, at the bottom of the page there, after Mike expresses, he doesn't really approve of Edward and their whole relationship, she kind of snaps at him, and they kind of have, a little tiff. And in my notes, I even wrote, she leaves Mike feeling pied off.
Oh, man.
As a Love Island reference. And this kind of just bothered me a little bit, too, because I feel like sometimes Bella only considers her own feelings.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And, she snaps, but she even admits at the bottom of 221, well, after this, immediately, she's already thinking about Edward, and their argument is already a distant memory. So it's
because
oh,
it
well,
meant
fuck
nothing to her.
that, what happened? Who cares? What?
When I was reading this, I was thinking about how, anytime she's interacting with someone, it just seems like she's assuming that Edward is, listening in to their thoughts, and it's just, kind of a way to manipulate Edward's thoughts by manipulating other people, like pawns.
Yeah. Well, and just, any time spent talking to someone else is not time spent talking to Edward, so it's, a waste of her time.
Yeah.
It feels like. And I feel like that's kind of shitty.
It is.
Because she even revisits, her argument with Mike on page 231. She says, somewhere in a corner of my mind, I felt bad about that, but I couldn't concentrate on him. Why? She was just going to say hi to Edward.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just express some sort of, I probably shouldn't have snapped at him. He is my friend. He's just looking out for me. But no, she's just well...
Don't give a shit about him.
Yeah.
He's not Edward.
Right.
Yeah, because I had asked, I've been putting a lot of questions in here, but because you know how he says he looks at you like your food, or he wants to eat you.
Yeah.
And I was just little do you
does.
know, right?
So joke's on you.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to see it from Bella's perspective, and then and Mike's perspective, sort of. But I said, although Mike used to pursue Bella, was his comment out of jealousy or just being a friend? And then I said, did Bella have warrant to snap on him, or did she overreact? And I said, why does Mike's observation not make her fear for her safety rather than her fearing for Edward's secret?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just all...
Yeah. I mean, I know we're trying to be more positive, but you guys, you got to admit, Bella's so unlikable.
Yeah.
She sucks.
Yeah, and that's really rare for, like, the protagonist of a book. Because usually...
You to root against them, but at the same time, ultimately want this story to be, like, followed through.
It's not like I'm rooting for her to be unsuccessful or sad or hurt or anything, but it's really hard to like her, and that's usually reserved for, like, the worst kind of person. Because, like, usually, even in a book about, like, a murderer or something, you kind of rooting for the protagonist, even if they're up to some really shady stuff.
Yeah.
And she's just annoying. She's just irritating. And I wonder exactly, like, why we feel that way, or if other people read this differently, but I don't know.
Yeah, if you really like Bella and are a fan of hers, like, tell us why. Email us at mytwilightfantasypodcast@gmail.com, because we're not closed off to any ideas regarding the books. Like, we want to hear your thoughts and how other people, you know, interpret the books, but we just all collectively have disliked her.
I can't believe Bodhi's still going.
I'm so sorry.
I feel bad for him, you know? Like,
He's
that's
fine.
gotta hurt his throat or something.
He does this, like, once a week, so it happens. But, alright, one more thing to dislike Bella for, and then I'm done for this chapter. If that's okay.
Yeah.
Alright, page 222. Once after Jim, she's reunited with Edward, and, like, Edward talks about how he heard the conversation again through people's thoughts, and she throws a fit. Like, what is the point of her fit? Like, on her anger? Because she says, "You were listening in again. I was horror struck. All traces of my sudden good humor vanished." And he makes, like, a joke, and she just goes, I'm sorry, I'm reading ahead. "You're unbelievable." And she said, "I turned stomping away in the general direction of the parking lot."
Not stocks.
Like,
Not stonks.
like, bitch, he once read strangers' thoughts to track you down in a city.
Yeah.
Why are you surprised that he's listening in on your gym class? Like, I just don't understand the point of that outrage. You know what I mean?
Me either, especially when he kind of warned her that that was going to be a thing, right? With the whole Jessica conversation. So, like, why would that not extend to other people?
Right. Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
And how does she not see that he's as obsessed with her as she is with him? Because, like, yeah, duh, he's going to be listening.
Yeah.
What could he care about more than you right now? Like, he really wants to
bone you down.
No, court her, marry her, then bone her down.
Bust down her ring finger.
Bust down her carotid artery.
Oh.
Yikes. Yikes.
That music playing during that scene is out of pocket.
What music?
When, at the end of the movie.
What movie?
Twilight.
I don't remember it.
When he's sucking her blood.
I was a blah, blah, blah.
No, not
blah,
that one.
Blah, blah,
no.
blah.
It's like a...
Words. Flightless bird.
No. Crap. I don't know. Crap, I had it in my head and it just like...
If you know what song Tyree is talking about, email us at mytwilightfantasypodcast@gmail.com.
End of Twilight?
It's while he's sucking her blood and he's like, "Edward, you're killing her." And the music's playing in the background.
That's his song. Let Me Sign.
What?
Edward?
That's Robert Pattinson singing.
Oh.
Yeah, he's sang 2 songs on the soundtrack for the movie.
Why? Why?
Yeah, the one that's like, let me sign. Yeah? Yeah, that's him. Like, yeah, the song where she's like, "Death is peaceful,
Ew.
easy. Life is hard. It's like, bitch, we know.
This isn't new.
What is okay? Let's break that down for a second. So that's kind of like a major theme of Twilight, right? Like, at least the movies, they really emphasize like life is difficult, dying is so easy, especially if it's like noble or something.
Gets lower to the ground.
That's like horribly depressing, and like definitely Bella is mentally ill.
Are you laying down?
Yeah, she is.
Maybe a little.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
Bella
so
is mentally ill, dude.
yeah, they're both mentally ill, but
I don't want to live at all.
how is that
Yeah,
not
no.
like that's a huge major theme of this whole series that we just completely overlooked the first time through.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like what we said before is like we're reading this in 2019 where we're all hyper aware of that now.
Mm-hmm.
Back then in 2005, everyone was just like secretly depressed.
Which is probably why people related to it so much. And liked it
Now
so
we
much.
just make memes about it.
Make memes about crippling depression.
Making memes about it is much more of a healthy outlet than
Whatever
dating
she does.
someone who wants to suck the blood out of your body, right?
He looks like he's gonna eat you.
I hope so.
Stop.
All right.
Okay.
What else we got?
I was gonna briefly return to the whole thing with Mike.
Okay.
So in my notes, I wrote genuine concern or trying to make a move on Bella? ? Nice guy ? Why doesn't she ever give him a chance? Which we kind of already talked about this, but like, do you think that he's trying to make a move on her at that moment, or is it just like completely out of friendship? Like, I'm really concerned about you.
I think both. Like, he does like her, but at the same time, the Cullens are known as this just kind of like, they keep to themselves, no one's really sure about them, and yeah, I don't know.
I feel like nothing like this could ever happen today. Because, like, if someone was that much of an outsider now, people would be like, oh, he's a school shooter. Let's prank him.
That would have been a much different book.
Well, yeah.
Instead of a vampire, he ends up being a mass shooter.
Well, at the beginning, if you didn't know this book was about vampires, we talked about this a little bit at the beginning, like, him talking about I'm dangerous, that sounds like...
This could be the Cullen Blind dude. Cullen Blind.
Cullen Blind.
Damn, sorry.
I'm calling the police.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I know what you're saying. I mean, in my mind, it was going toward, like, rapist or, like, hardcore into BDSM, but, like, he might be...
Which there's nothing wrong with.
No, there isn't, but
That's
just kind of what it sounded like he was insinuating.
Don't kink shame me.
Lisa.
Kink shaming is my kink.
Oh.
That's a funny vine.
Is that a Vine or is that a TikTok?
It's a vine.
Okay.
Fine.
You guys said BDSM, and I thought about that one song. can't remember who it's by. It's like it's by Rihanna. She's like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but chains and whips excite me. Nah, 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 come on.
Yeah, that's by Rihanna. Was that your question?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay.
I saw a tweet or something the other day that was like, I feel like you sent it to me.
Which one?
Like, I think the tweet was something like, my mom was talking to my little brother and he was getting bullied at school, and she said, you know what they say, sticks and stones might break my bones, but, and then he finished it with chains and whips excite me because he really thought that was actually
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That's such a good song, though.
Nah, 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 nah,
Come on.
We know what you're into.
No.
32 flavors of that booty, vicious bubble gum, raspberry, grape, cherry. Come and
Ew.
get this honey bun, yummy, yum. No, I'm done.
Can we get this honey bun? Oh, that's so funny. That's like kangaroo.
What?
Kangaroo booty.
She always brings up that song every time we work.
Kangaroo booty?
Yeah, it's a twerking song. And
I
then
don't even wanna hear
during
it.
the song, he's like, "Oh, S, this bee bit my dick, and now I'm about to punch her in her mother effing lip." And then it's like, ah!
Yikes.
This is maybe not my favorite episode of the podcast we've ever made.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's 100% me.
Well, I feel like it's
How?
more like...
I don't know. I laid down a minute ago.
It's fine. We've had a
been a
rough
rough-ass
week,
week,
guys.
yeah.
It's like we're just hanging on by a string.
Yeah,
So we're
have
not our
mercy.
usual like horny for Twilight selves.
Ew.
Horny for Twilight. I think
Chastity
that's just
belt for
you.
Twilight.
You know what I mean. What's the right word? Hyped?
Tweaked.
Tweaked.
Wait.
Tweaked for Twilight. There's our new hashtag.
Tweet for Twilight.
Twilight tweaked.
That still doesn't sound right.
Whatever. Anyway,
No. Yeah.
do you guys have anything else?
I actually made a list of more reasons why Bella sucks, but I'm not going to read it.
Okay.
Except one thing I have to read.
You know what we should do?
Well,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. We should just have one episode at the end of this book just to bitch about Bella.
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to tune in for that episode if you
And
don't
yeah,
want to.
we'll put a huge disclaimer on it that if you don't want to hear it, that's fine. But maybe that's where we get out our biggest grievances with her.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's really fair, and we can try to save it up until then.
Yeah, like we can still make notes here and there, but we'll save that episode to really go in on her, which
Yeah.
we've certainly done already. But
Yeah.
One small thing I really must say.
Mhm.
We mentioned that one of the questions that Edward asks Bella is what's your favorite color? Bitch
Okay,
says
don't-
brown. Bitch says brown.
I knew you were gonna say something about that.
No
I don't
offense
know,
if your
I
favorite
guess
color is
brown.
brown, but fuck, that's so fucking boring.
That's
What?
like, you know what that reminds me of? The Cody Co vine, where he's like, "Bro, what's your favorite color?" And he goes, "Mauve." And he goes, "Pfft, "Mauve? Fuck you."
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what? How deep are we in? Like, how many minutes are we in?
52.
Okay, so I can mention this now. You know, like, I don't know why this bothered me so much, but it was when Charlie got up and she had cereal and then he had eggs. Why didn't he make her breakfast? The only reason it bothered me here, I have a little paragraph. And I don't know if this is like just me, but it looks like at my house the other reason you wouldn't make the other resident or resident's breakfast in the house is because you're like feuding with them or they said no when you asked. And it's just like, I don't know if it's just like my family thing, but I thought it was like disrespectful, sort of.
That may be just like a...
Them thing?
Huh?
Or just like a me thing? Or like a...
No. I'm saying like maybe that's just like him being a creature of habit, being alone for so long.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a result of that.
Okay.
Because this is like the first time he's ever had anybody in the house with him regularly for like
A long time.
a long time. I don't know. Just on Charlie's behalf, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. Like, I've never, ever, ever had that happen. I remember I did it, like, once, and I got, like, told off about it.
By your
And-
mom.
Who else?
Okay, Miss Gina, go off.
Yeah, it's like my dad doesn't care because he's, like, grand chef. So it's either he cooks or, like, I'll ask him, I'll get up in the morning, like, do you want something to eat? And then he's just like, not if you're making it.
Oh,
And I'm just
shit.
like, but only, like, the only food that's, like, good to him is, like, him or, like, well, he just thinks I'm prone to burn things, which is, like, accurate. But, like, if I'm making food for myself and somebody else, if I'm eating it, I'm not going to burn the food. But if it's, like, the only thing I've burnt is, like, cupcakes and brownies. I haven't burnt anything other than that. It's only because I forgot they were in the oven. But he just doesn't trust my cooking skills anymore, so he just... Sorry to get so hurt. I'm just hurt my dad won't let me cook for him.
I don't think you've ever burnt food at work, but you've certainly dropped it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Tyree, how's it going? Yeets everything on the floor.
I'm sorry.
Well, I just...
That was
thinking back to that
soul-crushing.
moment, I don't know why you thought you could hold that pan with one hand.
That hurt so bad.
I was just trying my best.
I mean...
Tell me about the dream you had again where...
Okay, so, yeah, we all work together, and, technically I'm the boss, so sometimes
You're absolutely the boss.
And sometimes, I give them tasks to do. So in this dream, though, we work in a kitchen, and I had a dream that I put Tyree in charge of cooking all of the chicken. And she put chicken on trays, was putting them in the oven, but then they weren't cooking fast enough. Or no, you were just pulling them out.
And they weren't fully cooked.
And I was having a meeting with my bosses in a different room. And so it was like an hour in my dream, and I come back to check on her. And not only did she not let the chicken cook fully through, but to help cool them off, she took each individual chicken breast and laid it on the floor. Because the floor was cold, so she thought that would cool it off. So there was just half raw chicken breasts covering our entire facility. And we had to just, step over them in our nasty-ass shoes. And I was like, what are you doing? And you're just sitting there what you told me.
I did what you said.
You were saying it so reasonably, and I was like, I'm going to lose my mind. She's never actually done that, but it was just, I woke up in a panic, because, that would be my nightmare.
It'd be funny if the higher up just, agreed with me, yeah, this is a great way, more efficient.
Oh, boy.
Let's fuck everyone up with salmonella.
Yeah. Delicious. Delicious.
Delicious.
Delicioso. It's off topic again.
So let me know when you guys are kind of done going in, because I have 5 really tiny notes to just mention.
Yeah. I just think the only last interesting thing I have to say is that on page 225, I can't remember exactly what made me think this, but I made a note that says, made me think of 50 Shades of Grey. Should we have an episode comparing?
Yeah.
Because I've never even seen that movie. I haven't read those books at all.
Yeah,
we could watch the movie and try to determine where the inspiration came from, maybe.
You guys may be surprised. I saw the first movie, but I read all the books.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy them?
They were okay. It wasn't
It
was nothing compared to Wattpad smut, but
yeah. No,
really?
It was I compare Stephanie Meyer and is it E.L. James? I think that's her name.
Plot twist, it's actually Stephanie Meyer.
Well, I feel like they're super similar people, where they both had these really great ideas, but aren't the most amazing writers.
Mm-hmm.
But they are still able to make this phenomenon happen. So she writes this whole book about not just BDSM and sub and dom culture and whatever, but a really there's a whole subplot to it that doesn't get drawn out very much, but could be super good. Do you agree? Christian's backstory?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel his whole backstory could have just been really, that could be its own book, and it would have been really interesting, and it could have gone into the psychology behind why he is who he is.
Yeah,
But then instead she's just more sex scenes, and they're not that spicy.
Yeah, I was I wanted to get into his spicy trauma.
Yeah, he had hella trauma. And
Okay, that's kind of a fucked up message to send, that people who have been through traumatic shit definitely like to be hit with whips or hit other people with whips. That's not...
Yeah.
That's a gross simplification.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the explanations they give is one of the ways of dealing with this trauma was finding the BDSM community.
Okay.
So
Sure.
Because I need to exert control of every aspect.
Then it's
of
not
my
even
life.
that BDSM. Not that I'm into it, but it's just like if you spank someone, that's not like.
Is that what it is?
I mean, it's not hardcore, is it, Tyree?
No,
Hardcore.
I mean, for what people claim for it to be,
Yeah.
it's
not.
Doesn't he have like a whole torture room?
Yeah,
but
and they only use like fucking
Yeah, it's like a little, like a paddle or like a whip. It's one of the two.
yeah,
And she's like,
yeah.
And it's like,
Interesting.
It's real lame, but I still like them.
I was like, when I read the first one, like when I read all the books, I was just like, okay, like this is cool and all. But then I watched the movie and then I saw the actors. I'm like, you could have picked worse people.
I really liked the actors. Really.
I thought
Well-
both of them were smacked.
Oh, I think. What?
Yeah.
Jamie Dornan's beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't. He wasn't fitting my image that I had made in my head.
Me either. Did you see who they originally cast as Christian Grey?
No,
I'll just show you him later.
I was picturing like Theo James.
Dude,
I
he
always-
is not attractive.
Theo James is hot.
No.
Yes, he is.
Is our next series after 50 Shades Divergent?
Yes.
I'd be for that. Have you read Divergent?
Oh yeah.
I fucking love that book.
I
my
love
God.
that book, but the rest of the series was so disappointing to me.
The movies? Or
The movies, garbage, hot trash.
Yeah.
But Insurgent was very interesting, and then I forget what the Allegiant.
Yeah.
Bitch, what?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Don't they end up like changing the storyline? Isn't
It like completely subverts like everything else. That
Yeah.
happened.
yeah.
Yeah. There's oh my gosh, I love just like dystopian everything. We should have like a whole like book series. I
Yeah.
mean, just like talking about our favorite series, but
This can, yeah, and I also feel like, I mean, obviously we have a lot of Twilight to get through.
yeah,
But also,
Like
this can
bonus
just be
episodes.
like book club.
yeah,
Oh, Charlie's called me.
Uh-oh.
big yikes.
Yeah.
You want to call
7:55.
back?
Yeah, I'll call him.
You just said one of your workplaces.
That doesn't bother me.
Calls them on the podcast.
Do I need to press pause?
You can if you want to.
Yeah, you totally should.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, let me do that. All right, we're back. We're gonna wrap up here in a few minutes, but
Yeah.
Do I
One last thing,
Yeah.
actually. On page 232, we get that like moment that happens sometimes in books where they like say the title.
I hate it.
Yeah, I really, this was so jammed in.
I hate it.
Not very cash money.
No. And what does it say, Tyree?
What time is it? It's Twilight.
Well, that was bass boosted, so great.
That was intentional.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know why I dislike that so much, but
Because it was so forced.
yeah. I mean, yeah, fair enough.
So do they say Breaking Dawn twice? No, because Breaking Dawn's one book. Do they say Breaking Dawn and New Moon and New Moon and
I don't-
Eclipse
not that
I
I
have no
recall.
idea. Yeah, if they say the title of the books in all 4 books, let us know so that we can rage about that too.
Yeah. It just, I mean, it really didn't add anything at all.
Yeah. Also, on that page, 232, we get our first hints as to why Bella likes Arizona, which up to this point, we've always said that Stephanie Meyer only created a Forks Bella. But she kind of describes like what she likes about the area and Phoenix and all that. And she even earlier in the chapter says she's dreaming of spaghetti straps and shorts.
I can't even picture her in that.
I can't either, because wouldn't she look 12?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
I mean,
Because like I consider all shorts like coochie cutters, and I just can't see her in them.
no, I couldn't imagine her wearing coochie cutters. I could imagine her wearing like slightly too long jeans, you know,
Yeah.
that like
Capris,
mom approved.
Mm-hmm.
down to here.
Like fingertip length, you know?
Yeah.
Those are disgusting.
Yeah.
It'd be yikes.
The khaki pants with pockets.
Mm-hmm.
I just have one last thing for the chapter, but what about you guys? You pretty good?
The last thing I noted was that when Edward said that he couldn't sleep, when Bella said that she couldn't sleep.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
A kiki.
yeah.
Have they addressed that yet? Or no?
I think
No.
so.
Have they?
I think, yeah.
It kind of felt like they had, because it was just such a casual mention.
I think that was a part of the, like, you're a vampire? Yeah. Oh, that conversation.
Oh.
You know, the
Word.
big reveal.
The big reveal.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, no, my last thing for the chapter is at the end of this, you know, he drops Bella off and Billy and Jacob are there. And she's getting kind of weird vibes from Billy. Doesn't really know why, but she kind of has her suspicions about... She remembers the legends that Jacob told her. Does he know what's going on with Edward? Blah, blah, blah. But this is also the first time that Bella has been, like, reintroduced to Billy. Since seeing him as a child when she used to visit in the summers. And she gives a really weird description. This isn't, like, significant, but it just kind of threw me off. She describes him as his cheeks resting against his shoulders. Can anybody do that for me? Because I don't understand.
No.
I mean,
Literally no.
like, are his cheeks drooping that much? Like, I don't get it.
Maybe
Like-
like his shoulders are like super in, and then he doesn't have a neck, so it's like.
Any way that happens, it's weird. So,
I can't picture that even.
I can't either. So, that just felt like a really weird description to me.
Just imagine just no neck,
Okay.
like shoulders, head.
Why?
I don't know. Just weird.
Did they address why he's in a wheelchair? Has he always been, or no?
I don't think so. I
I
think it was
don't
a
know.
wolf accident.
A wolf accident?
Mm-hmm. You remember that meme that I sent you? That said it was out of pocket.
Yeah.
Did I send
It was.
Hold on. Did I send it to just you?
Yeah, because I asked you. So I primarily run the Instagram now, and so that means like I am making a lot of Twilight memes myself, and sometimes I try to post one every day, and then once in a while I get distracted and it gets pretty late, and I don't have the energy to make a Twilight meme anymore. So a couple days ago I asked Tyree to make me a meme, and she sent me like 10, and they are all so good. So I've been posting those recently.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's too out of pocket to post, isn't it?
This is amazing. I don't know. Hey, if you're easily offended, email us at mytwilightfantasypodcast@gmail.com.
And we'll send you this meme.
Yeah.
No, damn.
All right. Any last thoughts on chapter 11?
Nope.
No.
No. Great. We're done. We did it.
Yay.
Success.
All right.
Stonks.
Well, thank you for tuning in for another episode. Not our best, but not our worst.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
You'll never hear that.
I
But
like
yeah.
listening to it sometimes.
Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. Our biggest is My Twilight Fantasy on Insta. My Twilight Podcast.
Mm-hmm. I think it might just be Twilight Podcast.
Twilight Podcast on Twitter. We have a Tumblr. We have a YouTube account. But if you go to our Instagram, the link in our bio goes to our website, and you can find all of our social media links there. Several different ways you can listen to us. But one thing I want to mention that would really, really help us out, on Apple Podcasts, the app, if you listen to us on there, if you could leave us a rating and a review, no matter how you feel, it would be super helpful to us. And just giving us feedback in general to see what we could do better, what you guys like, what you don't, because we're doing it for you.
Nasty.
So send us what you think on mytwilightfantasypodcast@gmail.com, but go and give us that rating, that review on Apple. And if you feel so inclined to help us out with building this podcast more, you can visit us at patreon.com/mytwilightfantasy and become a Patreoner to get access to more bonus content.
Yeah, we've really been thinking about posting all of Bella's outfits in a video, so if you guys want to see those, you have to go to our Patreon.
Yeah, we're really tickled by Bella's outfits in this book. So we're thinking about going to a thrift store and putting those together and making Maya model those for us.
She's like, why me?
How do we feel about that?
I mean, I'm gonna do it.
So that'll be exclusively on Patreon, though. So we'll let you know when that happens.
How do we... Would it be too out of pocket to try to bribe Paul into wearing all of Edward's outfits?
We'll see.
Bring his fangs in.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He said... I thought he said he had them when he was in high school and then something happened and he doesn't have them anymore.
We can make him go get some more from Hot Topic or Spencer's.
Yikes. But isn't that in the episode that we never released?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll have to listen to it if I can make myself.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
It's so bad.
I think it's funny.
It's funny, but it's also a big yikes.
Big chunk yikes.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Listen back next week, but we love you. And as always, peace,
Love,
and Twilight.
Bye.
Bye.